What is poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the Baltimore Birdwatch, episode 2. We had a fantastic week in football. Absolutely nothing went wrong. Everything was exactly how we mapped it out to be.
Wrong! In fact, everything went horribly, especially if you were a Ravens fan. Actually, I wouldn't say everything. There were some great things about that game. We'll get to it later on in the show. But welcome to the Baltimore Birdwatch podcast, y'all. We're excited to talk to you guys and chat. We now are a couple of days removed from the heartbreaking loss that we just had to go through as Ravens fans last Sunday. And, I think before we get to that, though, let's jump around the league and highlight some games that really shocked us this weekend. What was a game that you really liked, Fiji?
The Steelers-Jets game I thought was surprisingly great.
Yeah.
Other than the Ravens-Bills game, I would say that was probably the next best game.
I would agree with that.
I think, throughout the whole weekend, not just on Sunday, I would say that was the next best game. I liked that a lot.
100%. There was something really cool and unique seeing that battle between Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. It was really nice to see those two quarterbacks kind of come back to teams that kind of let them go and disregarded them last season. And that revenge game, they really both put it out on the field, and I respect the efforts from the both of them in that game.
I really would have loved to have seen Justin Fields win. He didn't get a shot in Pittsburgh. It's really not fair because he came in and he was winning games for them. He
played amazing. I wouldn't say amazing, but he played high-level football, and they made him back up Russell Wilson. And I didn't really understand that move. I feel like you kind of just roll with the hot hand. I feel like that decision is probably a decision that is the reason why the Steelers couldn't get that extra mile last year. And then to not bring him back also was a little bit of a slap to the face. So I'm happy that he's finding success in New York, and I hope that he continues to find success here.
Because I know Aaron Rodgers won. I know Pittsburgh won. I still think bringing in Aaron Rodgers was not the right move for the franchise going forward in the long run. Because Justin Fields, you keep him on your team, you develop him, he becomes a great quarterback it looks like he can be.
Yeah.
So you have the longevity there. Aaron Rodgers, how many more seasons is he going to be in the league?
Not many.
I wouldn't be surprised if he retires at the end of this season.
I think he plans to. I think he literally his plans to only do one more season and then calling it quits. So it's I'm trying to understand really what the Steelers are trying to do, and it's really confusing their management process because they're going with Aaron Rodgers, and if they're good with Aaron Rodgers, then they're going to have a low draft pick to pick another Kenny Pickett in the late round. They saw how that went. They saw how that situation was. Why would you not go with the young high ceiling star and see what he can do? But hey, I'm not a GM for the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers are playing as if there's a win now mentality, but they really aren't. They're not real contenders for the Super Bowl, so I don't know why they're playing with that mentality.
And that's a great question. I mean, it's just the Mike Tomlin mentality. They always think they can compete. They always think they can do whatever they can to be competitive late in the season and to be upsetting team and to get into the playoffs and have their fair shot at winning a championship. But I guess that's where it becomes a little bit difficult because if you're always in this win now, even when your team is mediocre, you're kind of grasping at straws to hope that you can somewhat win a wild card game. And I think that's just a weird way to run a team, to stay mediocre,
Does not make much sense to me from a management point there, but I don't know. I don't really like the camp at Pittsburgh. I think they make a lot of bad decisions. I'm pretty familiar with it, so...
Yes, as a former Steelers fan himself,
we don't need to get into that.
Fiji has converted over to the correct side of the coin, but every Steelers fan should shame him for transferring over into the dark side.
I'll give you guys a little bit of lore here on what the reasoning behind all of this was, because it wasn't. I stopped watching football altogether for a while, and in 2019, when Lamar started playing. I believe he was back up to Flacco at the time. I realized, that dude is actually kind of fun to watch. So I just started watching that, and I was a Lamar Jackson fan. But through my music and stuff, I really started to develop a big sense of Baltimore pride. As I traveled to Atlanta, I felt like I was representing my city. And so because of that, I just inevitably really, as I got more into sports, it became really easy for me to just kind of cheer for Baltimore because I was very proud to be from Baltimore. So,
hell yeah,
that's the lore there. A little bit of lore, Fiji lore. All right.
A little bit of Fiji lore. He just loves his fucking city, guys.
I do love my city.
His fit. He's 10 toes down for Be More. Yes. How it should be. How it should be. And I thought the Ravens were going to be 10 toes down for Be More on Sunday night, but unfortunately they weren't. But not yet. Not yet though. Another game that I want to talk about, unless you have any final thoughts on the.
No, I was ready to start crying when you brought it up, but it's okay. Let's change the subject before I do.
So a game that I really would love to talk about was that Chiefs Chargers game. There was something in Justin Herbert's eyes that I just haven't seen before. And
lightning.
Literally straight lightning,
straight from the Chargers.
Like literally buzz him up, like bro is literally buzzed up, like he could charge him up.
That edit would go so hard. Whoever knows how to make an edit, do like a zoom on Justin Herbert's eyes and do a little Chargers lightning bolt in his eyes. That would go so hard. Oh my god. Wait. Yeah, somebody cook that up.
Cook that up for us. Put this clip in front of it. Put this clip in front of it.
Yeah, credit us. Credit us for it. We need all the publicity we can get over here. All right.
We'll take it.
But that would go so hard.
That would go hard as hell, actually. But no, Fiji, I'm Jay Herbo, he might be an MVP contender this year. And I gotta give it to Mahomes in that game. He also played his ass off. He literally hit somebody with a truck stick, even though that truck stick was a little bit cheesy, but
I have an opinion on Patrick Mahomes in that game. I think he got his big plays off. He got his big passes. He did the little flick. He got the hit stick, which I think was really a sucker punch, to be honest. But I don't think he had his big plays, his moments, but I don't think his whole game, when you look at everything in that game, was actually that good. I do chalk up most of that to Xavier Worthy getting injured. And I think he was a big part of their game plan going into it. So when he got taken out, you got to improvise.
It became the Marquise Brown show.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when it kind of started going a little bit weird for Sir Kermit there. But I really just love seeing two powerhouse rivals just go at it and duke it out. And I think it was shown with Justin Herbert specifically. Sorry, I'm about to become a Justin Herbert glazer, but it is what it is. But I think they said Keenan Allen talked about it, how he had a stint with the Bears, he came back, and then he was there was just something different in how Herbert moved, and how he threw the ball, and how he commanded the team. And I think we're seeing a prime shift for him. And I'm just really excited to see how the Chargers compete going forward. They usually are a running team, and in that game they pass the ball a lot. So I think they could be possible contenders in the AFC if they continue playing the way they are.
He was nasty out there. I really look forward to seeing how the Chargers do this season, and I'm sure we'll dabble in some fantasy conversation now that the week is fully done. But I may or may not have tried to pick up a couple of Chargers players.
You trying to pick up Quentin Johnson?
I may or may not have made some moves in the fantasy room.
We'll see. To pick up
we'll see what the waivers say, okay? I can't do anything till Wednesday I don't know how this works. Apparently I have to wait till
tomorrow,
Wednesday.
Yeah. Or Wednesday. But he had 1.1 million ads on Sleeper. But people forgot that he had brick for hands for the last 2 years. Since he's been a Charger, he literally has not been able to catch the ball.
Speaking of fantasy, do we want to talk about fantasy right now? I'll talk about this. Zay Flowers is the number one wide receiver you could have had in fantasy last week. Shout out Zay Flowers. What a guy.
Shout out Zay Flowers.
And Keon Coleman was number 2. And I'm what a bizarre 1 and 2 wide receiver for the first week. Because technically they're the leaders right now, right? There's only been 1 week. But
Zay Flowers and
conversations, Jamar Chases, CD Lambs, Justin Jefferson's, and it's Zay Flowers coming out on top. I love it.
Love him. Love
Shout out
Zay.
Zay Flowers.
He's always doing what he has to do to make sure the ball's getting downfield. He even looks a little bit faster this year. I think we actually can go deep into it. If you want to jump into it, Fiji, we can go right into the game.
No, Zay Flowers was catching the ball and he was running straight and not left and right, and I was impressed. I love Zay Flowers, but he does have a tendency to he's a shifty little guy. But he has a tendency to do a little too much shifting when he should be trying to get down the field. Can I censor that just in case? We're trying to keep it PG. Sorry guys, I got excited.
We'll keep it PG-13.
I got excited. Yeah, you're allowed to drop one F word on the podcast. That's
We use it up already.
Stupid.
We use it up.
No, Zay Flowers. Really like Zay Flowers. He did great. Now that I've had time to sit on it, I was really upset. I was heartbroken yesterday.
Understandable. So was I.
But I think I come out with a more positive outlook, honestly, at the end. I have a couple insights now that have like let it dwell on me. I think the Ravens played a great game. I think the Bills played a great game. I still think the reason we lost is a coaching issue. I don't think, Derrick Henry had the fumble. It's easy to blame Derrick Henry. But this was a coaching thing. There was a couple of coaching decisions I didn't agree with in this game. And I think I'm still very optimistic for the season. I know last year, and maybe this is a sign. Last year, we beat the Bills in the regular season, and then they beat us in the playoffs. Maybe this year the tables are turning. I'm going to choose to believe in that.
And I agree. I think that is what the tables will do. I think literally I'm looking forward to it. I genuinely am very excited to see the Bills in Orchard Park. Home, like we're away, an AFC Championship game, last game at that stadium, and we get our revenge. Can you imagine we lost 2 straight against them?
I would rather
heartbreaking fashion.
If it's there, that's awesome. That's cinematic. I would really rather
I want the
be
cinema.
Here.
I want the cinema.
I would really rather be here. The Bills have an easier schedule than we do, though.
The Bills have a much easier schedule than we do. It's quite a cupcake walk for them. We have some battles, so we will be battle tested by the time we get to the playoffs, and I think that's really what's going to separate between the two of us. I feel like the Ravens are going to go through their trials and really show why they're the dominant team in the AFC, and the Bills are going to get the little squeaky clean. They're going to get nice and through squeaky clean, all healthy and doing good and all that fun stuff, and then they'll get to us, and we'll be slobber knocking them because we have gone through the trials to get to where we are to face them and get our revenge. So I'm excited for that, for that game later on in the season.
Yeah, and it seems like post-game interviews, Josh Allen, I believe, said we'll see them again. I think he knows AFC Championship, it's going to come down to Bills and Ravens. Or at least definitely in the playoffs. The Chiefs, even though I don't think the Chiefs look that good, once they hit the playoffs, we got to always worry about the Chiefs. So maybe it's them.
I mean, there are some dark horses too in the AFC. I feel like there are teams that we really just got to be afraid of. I feel like the Chargers look really good. The Raiders look like they might be actually pretty decent too. Those are the only teams I really saw. We don't know what's going to come out of the Steelers, and we know Joe Burrow's always a problem every now and then. So it's like, those are all things to worry about. But I'm thinking about diving deep into this game, and I want to continue getting some more insights that you felt you saw from this game. You said you had one. You said you had a second one. I know you just said your first.
Oh, yeah. Well, my main thing is just the coaching, I think. John Harbaugh needs to take responsibility and just realize that the reason the Ravens can't win these close games is kind of because of him. I think it's just something that the Ravens losing in this fashion is something that exceeds the Lamar Jackson era. This is just something the Ravens have always done. So on that note, it's what's the consistent thing here? It's John Harbaugh's coaching. I think going for it on 4th and 3 would have been the smart play.
At least lining up.
I understand Lamar Jackson was apparently cramping at that point. The Bills don't know that. You line them up. I think the Bills had called a timeout, so the clock was already stopped. You line them up. You try to get the hard count. If they're not going for it, you call a timeout. I feel like 2 timeouts if Lamar Jackson is still cramping to the point where he can't run a play, even get the ball off to Henry, then sure, punt it. But I find it really hard to believe if you give that man a full 2 timeouts to kind of rest for a little bit, he wouldn't have been able to get a playoff. But at the very least, you line them up and you just trust your guys. You're like, look, you got Lamar here, you got Derrick Henry here, Zay Flowers is having a great game, you got your guys out there, you got DeAndre Hopkins who's a veteran, right? Let them line up, see what the look is, and just tell them, if you guys got this, run a play, get that first down. And if you just don't think you have it, we'll punt it. But you at least let them look at it, right?
Yeah.
That you just have to trust your guys here. You have great experienced players out there. So just trust your...
And that's why it's incredible, because we've seen John Harbaugh do this before. We've seen him take those risks in the past, and he's succeeded. Like, he knows what personnel he has. He knows the skill level of his offense and how they can execute. And I get the risk of it was to put the Bills immediately in field goal range. But in a big game like that, when your defense is gassed and you have some of the best players that the game has ever seen, you gotta put the faith in them. And I think it's just really shocking that he decided to take the safe bet that time.
I really think it's crazy because, yeah, the risk is putting them in field goal range now, but when you're against Josh Allen, are you not expecting them to get into field goal range?
And great point.
And they had momentum at that point, too.
Yeah. So it's like, literally they have momentum. Our defense is playing bad. Like, they literally had no reason not to do it. Because, exactly like you said, at the end of the day, they were going to get down the field, they were going to score, they were going to do something regardless. As they did anyway.
Another thing that I think was just off with the play calling there is the Ravens, in that last drive, were playing to kill the clock.
Yeah.
You've been dominating the Bills' defense all game. I think you just go out there and you run your offense. I don't think you play to kill the clock. I mean, obviously, once you get the first down, take the knees. You know what I mean? But playing to kill the clock is what got you guys. If you guys had just ran your offense, you're good. But you were doing these, like, short inside runs, nothing, too flashy. But, like, Lamar had been throwing the ball great. And I don't know why we didn't. I understand the kill the clock aspect of not throwing the ball, but when you need all we needed was a first down.
You're right.
You should have been playing for a first down, not to kill the clock.
You're right. And I think that sums up your point that coaching was a big issue and a big integral reason why the Ravens collapsed and lost that game. I have a couple of takes as well in regards to why I really do feel like we lost, in regards to what really we should hold accountable. I really do think that we should take a look at the aspect of luck in this game. I feel like the Ravens in multiple points got very, very unlucky, especially with things in such as like the one punt return, or the punt return where the guy like literally his pinky like touched the white end zone. We could have pinned the Bills at the 2-yard line.
That would have been great. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And that was unfortunate, and then on top of that, you had the 4th and 2 on the red zone. The ball, Josh Allen throws the ball, it tips off of Dawson Knox's hands.
Oh,
and
yeah,
lands
like
Keon Coleman's
two
arms.
other receivers, yeah.
Like, are you serious? Are you serious?
Here's my thing with the luck take, though.
Let me finish off with the last luck. Last luck take. Remember when Kyle Hamilton forced that fumble and it happened to bounce off of an old lineman's foot and bounce out of bounds? Like, there were multiple times in that game where we did what we had to do and we just got a little bit unlucky. And I think that was a big part of our loss as well.
I just don't like pinning things on luck.
No.
And I understand.
It's not pinning it on there.
Yeah,
but
I just feel like this situation has happened so often where I cannot be like, this lucky thing happened, this lucky thing happened, this lucky thing happened. I think we have to... Why did it get to the point where... I don't know. When you have teams that are this good, it is small shit like that really decides the game. So I understand.
I will say my actual, not my skill-based reason why I think we lost, I think honestly was our pass rush. I feel like especially in like throughout the game, but also especially in the end of the game, we just couldn't get to Josh Allen. Like our secondaries out there just like running around. Like he got out of the pocket, he like scrambled up and down the field, he had time to throw it. It really felt like he was never really pressured or like got any big hits in that game. And I feel like we just didn't bring it on the line. Like we hyped up this O-line with Mike Green, with old Kyle Van Noy, with David Ajabo, like with like all of those guys. And like, I feel like we just didn't, with Dafai Owe, we just didn't hit the mark in what we planned on doing. Like like Justin Madubuike, like Travis Jones, like I just don't understand why we didn't do as good on the D-line as I hoped we would.
I do agree. I think the defense was definitely our weak point in this game in general. Not necessarily because I think our defense is bad or even if I don't know. I think they were just a little we'll have to see. It's week 1. I think there's a chance maybe some of our acquisitions were, maybe I was a little bit too excited. I think towards the end of that game, Jair Alexander was giving up a lot. He had that really big pass interference. He got cooked like 3 times in that fourth quarter that gave up huge yards. And I hope it's the first game of the season. I haven't like lost faith in him or anything. It's just he definitely he was giving up some stuff. It was giving Brandon Stevens.
No, don't say it.
It was giving Brandon Stevens.
Don't say that. No, don't say that.
It was giving Brandon Stevens a tiny bit. I was like, because it got to a point where every big play was on him, and I was like, oh my god, this
They're
is.
Brandon Stevens singing. They're Brandon Stevens singing.
No, it's just week 1. It's just week 1. It's just week 1.
Nah,
as he gets more, he's like, on a new team. It's cool.
He's not only is he on a new team, but he also is like a while away from, like, he hasn't played in like almost a year. Like, he hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting his sea legs back.
No, I'm not.
There's a lot to learn, and I feel like he will get his mojo back. I feel like he got exposed in that game, and he knows he got exposed. He's gonna come back correct, and I believe he will. You know?
I'm just worried because the Bills are a great team, but their receiving core, Keon Coleman popped off.
He did.
But their receiving core is not, like, that is far from the best one we'll face. And he was getting cooked. So I'm hoping, like,
he was getting cooked.
I would hate for that to affect us in a game against, like, Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be hard to cover. They have great receivers in Cincinnati. Cincinnati has the best receiving core, and we had to play them twice.
Speaking of, you're right. Continue.
No, I was just going to say, and Jair Alexander needs to get it together before we get there.
So, yeah, I think ultimately a combination of, you know, luck, a little bit of bad pass rushing, just bad coaching, all those things combined just was a cocktail for the Ravens' downfall, and I think we saw a very sad loss that we just didn't think would happen and didn't seem like it would go that way for 3 quarters. But I really do think the Ravens will turn it around and show why they really are the top of the conference and why they deserve to be in the Super Bowl. I think this was just a learning curve. It was a hard lesson, but a lesson that will be beneficial for them as they go on this season.
Yeah, I think my big takeaway here is, especially now that, you know, every game for the first week is done. After watching all the football, I watched every single game this weekend. Without a doubt, the best 2 teams in the NFL based off week 1 performances are the Bills and the Ravens.
Yes.
They were far and away the best performing teams. So I am still very confident going into the season. What the Ravens need to do, and this can kind of segue as we start to talk about like next week, is last year we started with this 0-2. We lost to the Chiefs, and then we went into the Raiders, which is a game we should have won. But I think that momentum from losing to the Chiefs really hurt us, and that's what cost us to lose that.
Yeah.
I think we need to make sure we don't do that this year. I think the Browns, this should be an easy win. And I know it's divisional, so it's not always as cut and dry as like running numbers. But the Browns, they're not a better team than us. They're not even close to a better team than us.
No, not at all. And like we saw that Cincinnati Browns game. Honestly, much more low scoring game than I expected, but there was no fireworks on either side. We all know the Bengals defense is hot dog water. And the fact that the Browns were not able, and Joe Flacco were not able to get down the field easily and score points and, you know, take it to that defense really shows you that they are not going to succeed against an even stronger, more elite defense in the Ravens. I mean, who knows? We'll see how it goes when the game comes, because an elite defense did get, 41 points put on them this past week. But I really do think that we will bounce back and we'll have the strength to be able to take what happened last week, take it on the chin, and really use that fuel to go to come home and, face a division rival and really stick it to them. I'm really feeling confident about next week.
Oh, yeah. I think we should win. I'm going to put this on the board now. Malachi Stark should have had an interception in week 1. He will get an interception in week 2.
Stamp it.
Book it.
Bow, 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 bow,
Book
bow,
it.
bow, 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 bow. Booked.
I do think he's going to get a pick in this game. I just have a feeling. I like that guy.
Look, put it on your DraftKings bets, y'all. FanDuel, clock it in right here.
Malachi Stark's getting an interception.
Malachi Stark's 1 interception.
I think he mentally, right? You're a rookie. It's your first game, and you're against an MVP quarterback, and you see that ball coming at you, and you know you have it. I feel like you just kind of choke a little bit, right?
Just a little call,
like,
you know.
Yeah, you're just like, you can't believe the situation you're in. As he's diving for that ball, I just feel like he had like a Jimmy Neutron type brain blast. And he was like, I think that's why he didn't get it. He should have had it. I think he knows he should have had it. Next week he's gonna get it. All right.
Yes. Okay, so, my hot take for next week. I think Zay Flowers will match his performance that he did week 1.
I think Zay Flowers is about to prove to everybody he's a wide receiver 1.
I agree.
I think he did great last week. He's against a worse team. I like Zay Flowers. It's a good kid.
I think I'm really excited for week 2. I think the Ravens will bounce back and they'll be a great team going into the rest of the season. I'm feeling good. Of course, it was heartbreaking to see what they did on Sunday, but I'm excited for the rest of the season. I think this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I'm excited to see how Joe Flacco performs being back in Baltimore. That'll be fun.
That will be fun. I actually am really excited to see how, like, it's his first time back in Baltimore. Like,
I know, and he's going to.
Oh
yeah, this is good stuff. I'm hyped.
Absolute cinema this Sunday, guys. I cannot wait to talk with you guys about it next week. And, you know, Fiji, any last words before we sign off for today?
Yeah, I have an idea for some content, but I need people to comment on the video and tell me what you guys are thinking, right? I want to do watch parties. I know we were talking about doing it once or twice maybe in the season.
Yeah, because I can just put the game up, like, on my laptop or something. I can, like, watch the game while, like,
yeah. So let us know what you guys think about that. I think that would be cool content. So let us know if you want to tap into that. I will see you guys next week.
See you, birds.
Hopefully I'm still here right now.